The rolling luggage market is weird, with so many choices, every company claiming to be the best, and an endless stream of marketing. So in this video, I'll break it all down with a very simple decision-making tree, beginning with your travel preferences and dependence. Preference-wise, are you someone who gets a ton of travel fulfillment by shopping lots abroad? On the dependence end, do you have non-able-bodied travel companions, whether it's young children or mobility-impacted adults? These all, of course, mean that you'll likely require a check-in size luggage on top of your carry-on and personal item. So step one of our decision-making tree is exactly that. Do you require check-in size luggage? But continuing on to the next step of the tree, there are frequent international business flyers, frequent domestic business travelers, once-a-year vacationers, unpredictable destination long-term nomads, and seasonal snowbirds. All of these types of travelers carry very different luggage must-haves, so it's important to evaluate which type of traveler you are and likely will be for the foreseeable future. One of the first assessments is the types of terrains you'll be covering, which will inform wheel requirements. After all, wheels are one of the most important components of luggage, and also always a huge determinant of price. The wheel needs of a frequent flying management consultant are wildly different from an annual Europe vacationer. That management consultant as a frequent business flyer is likely touching down, going straight to the rental car, driving to the hotel, which ends their luggage's journey. In other words, their luggage is going to experience nothing but smooth, hard surfaces like airport concourses, hotel lobbies, and possibly client office hallways. That means that super basic, less resilient wheels like those found on this Amazon Basics luggage are more than enough. On the flip side, someone who enjoys going around several different countries in Europe for a few weeks will likely be encountering a ton of cobblestone walkways. So to simplify it, three attributes come together to create the best wheels. Take this piece by air. Using Hinomoto's Miraclid line of wheels, the three features that we as travelers care about are 1. A wheel diameter of about 2 inches or 5 centimeters for ease of navigating over even the most uneven cobblestone or interlocked terrain. 2. Concealed ball bearings to maximize efficiency of roll while mitigating dirt and dust to get trapped in the bearings. 3. A polyurethane double wheel construction, as in, each wheel housing has a rolling wheel on each side of the central rim, as opposed to a single wheel centered around an axle frame. The biggest challenge nowadays is that the wheels on quite a few luggage brands have these features without necessarily using legacy suppliers like Hinomoto. For example, a brand like Monos used to use Hinomoto's until they grew to a point where it made sense for them to bring wheel design and manufacturing in-house. And at least by my own experience, having used my own money to buy their luggage before and after the change, have learned that those three properties are all that matter, regardless of which quality manufacturer made them. In general, we should expect luggage with these wheel features to cost at least $200 US, but you might not need the best types of wheels for your types of travel and terrain. So in short, assess the type of travel you'll be doing most, which in turn will inform what types of terrain you'll be covering, which therefore will let you know how well featured you'll need your wheels to be. Next item on our decision-making tree actually doesn't seem to have anything to do with your luggage itself. It's assessing the other bags you intend on traveling with, because they inform whether or not external quick access compartments on your rolling luggage are important to you or not. I find that many domestic business travelers opt for a briefcase for their computer. So calling back to that example I gave earlier of that management consultant, they would easily be able to pair their Amazon Basic luggage with their briefcase that has a luggage pass-through. However, this is Sammy, and if you have ever won any of the channel's giveaways, you have emailed back and forth with her. But she does not like briefcases nor backpacks. So on business trips, to make her airport experience as smooth as possible, she requires an external fast access compartment specifically for her computer to easily and quickly remove at TSA airport security screenings. That's why for work trips, she uses this soft-shelled piece by Travel Pro. However, in her personal life, she is fancy, so for her leisure trips, she uses this Rimowa set. But because she has a firm no computer rule when traveling for fun, she doesn't need external access for a laptop and just rocks a sling. And speaking of a sling, sling bags are the most useful add-on for travel, but only if they have one critical design element, and that's where the sponsor of this video always implements, TomTalk. The TomTalk Aviator T33 hits all travel sling must-haves. Durable and tremendously water-resistant ripstop nylon outer, complete RFID blocking liner, the ideal mix of interior sub-organization options, 2 reinforced anchor points on the exterior so I can use an S-beaner to keep my blender bottle for both quick access and no fear of leaking inside my bag, and of course that most important element, the third zipper recessed exterior pocket, are most important things go so that the pocket is both hidden and right up against the body for a tiny little bit of added security and peace of mind. Available in a few sizes, I personally use the 3.5 liter capacity one, especially because I use a passport wallet so it's easy to get this whole thing in and out, while Sammy always likes to go as compact as possible. possible, and since she does not use a passport wallet, the 1.5-liter one easily slides her passport, hotel key card, and emergency cash with no problem. And you can find the T33 linked down in the description below if you want to research it more for yourself. Thank you so much TomTalk for sponsoring this portion of the video. But going right back to rolling luggage, understanding the types of other bags you typically travel with will inform whether or not exterior access compartments are necessary for you. In the past, only soft shell options like this Travel Pro offered this as an option, but over the past several years, hybrid options like this Monos Carry-On Pro marries the water and impact resistance of traditional hard shell luggages with the convenience of an exterior access pocket as well. Next on our decision-making tree is one of the most challenging to assess because it involves predicting the airlines you'll most likely be flying with. A good starting point is based on your home airport and which airlines use them as a hub. If you are someone who typically flies budget airlines, then you already know that zero-wheeled luggage is included in the price of the ticket itself, and anything beyond a small backpack will be a significant upcharge. The most restrictive carry-on weight I've seen is 15 pounds or 7 kilos, including the weight of the luggage itself, and with, for example, this already light Monos International carry-on, we can see that it's already nearly half of those most restrictive weights imposed by some airlines. The last tip with airline research is, of course, if you will have layovers and connecting flights with different airlines, make sure your packing and luggage purchases fit within the most restrictive of all the airlines you'll be flying in any given trip. Next up on the decision-making tree are specific design features, bells and whistles. Design elements and features that might be worth considering are all lightweight and mechanical. For example, this Air carry-on features this wheel lock slide tab here. This might be an actual valuable feature for you, to have the confidence that your luggage is not rolling away while you are trying to deal with a crying kid. Another tiny detail that might be worth considering, especially if you'll be checking in your luggage, is a dedicated tracker pocket. Since I already have the Air here in front of me, you can see here that there's this tiny hidden pocket, perfect for an Apple AirTag or a tile tracker. Exterior anchor points might be another feature you might like. Going back to Sammy's Rimowa check-in, we can see here there's this pull tab anchor loop. Whether it's your kid's backpack or maybe a duty-free shopping bag, an anchor point on the outside can provide that extra difference maker to free up one of your hands. Yet another design element decision that might be important to you is if the luggage uses a perimeter zipper like most we've seen so far, or if it uses latches with a sealed perimeter gasket like the one found here on this Monos hybrid check-in. Some folks swear by this option because A, it's way faster to open and close compared to perimeter zippers, and B, some people believe that zippered closures are way too easy to break into with a knife. For the speed, yes, of course these two latches are much faster, but many people I know still prefer the psychological confidence of a full wraparound closure. As for ease of breaking in, honestly, once somebody physically has any luggage in their possession, they're all easy to break into. I mean, these TSA locks are a joke. I made a video about how easy it is to break into most hotel room safes, and luggage locks are even easier than that. The key benefit of locks on luggage is that they are the best possible TSA compliant deterrent. After all, opportunity thieves are after the lowest hanging fruit. But speaking of overall security, next on the decision-making tree is durability and warranty. Just like how we mentioned earlier that almost any high-quality wheels on a luggage will make that luggage run at least $200 US, all the other elements of durability compound the price. Going back to the Air, it's got double-layered puncture-resistant YKK RCW zippers. The telescoping handles of this and these Monoses have minimal play rivaling the tolerances of those found on these $1,000 Rimowas. Then comparing it to the massive swing of this Amazon Basics one, we can see immediately why Monos, Air, and Rimowa offer a lifetime warranty against mechanical failures, and yet those warranties are not the same. When it comes to warranties, it's really about whose side a company will try to stand up for by default. So when it comes to warranty, as a general rule of thumb, of course there's exceptions, but in general, in terms of pricing tiers, luggages under $200 US will likely have basically no warranty. I mean, even if they say they do, getting a warranty to be actually honored will be a pain. Pieces between $200 and $550 US will generally have a claimed lifetime warranty, but that lifetime warranty will put effort to ensure that it's truly a manufacturing defect that led to any issues. Though not set in stone, so do your own research, but in general, anything over $550 US will have premium materials, and their lifetime warranty will typically sway in your favor and be tremendously easy to be honored. Beyond that, some models from some companies like Briggs & Riley have insane lifetime warranties, with some of their models offering no fault, no questions asked, no receipt needed, transferable international, replace or repair. Luggage is a very weirdly emotional purchase decision. Calling back to that example management consultant who would be absolutely fine with this Amazon Basics piece, many, if not most management consultants would probably swing for a higher end piece because it emotionally feels like it matches their career better. My goal here has just been to share the decision-making tree. After that, the way a piece of luggage feels to you will determine your happiness and ownership. In other words, don't just dive into one of these brands blindly. My hope is that this video will help you feel more confident when looking at any and all options. But if you really want my true opinion, to me, Luggage feels like they reduce my travel freedom. Which is why for the past 6 or 7 years, more than 95% of my very frequent trips are done with just a sling and a carry-on backpack. If you're a solo traveler, but are worried that one-bag travel feels too restrictive, I welcome you to see how not just me, but 2 of us shared one single backpack for a multi-week trip in this video right up here. If you're feeling lucky though, this video down here is the one for you. I'll leave them both on screen for a few seconds so you can choose which one to watch next, but while you're deciding, consider liking, subscribing, and hitting that bell so you'll be notified the moment new videos just like this one drop.